This video is going to focus solely on Site Builder. So whenever you log into LeadStreet, click on your Site Builder tab to access your agent website. Your agent website is extremely important because this is how you can generate additional leads by updating your website, attaching a domain to your website, and marketing your website. Every single listing on your agent website will reflect you as that local professional, whether it's your listing, whether it's a Remax listing, or whether it's a competitor's listing. It will show you as that local professional so that when a user logs in or creates an account, that lead will come directly to you because they are on your agent website. What we're going to do is focus on the Design tab. In the first part of this three-part series, we're going to start off by reflecting how to build and expand on your home page. Your home page is very important because this is the first page that a user will see from your website. So you want to make sure that it markets you, for one, but number two, you want to make sure that it is sophisticated enough to keep them on your website. So here on the Templates tab, there are about 15 different templates that allow an agent to start building the foundation of their website. So if I click on Template 6, a button below is going to say Load Template into Sandbox. Your sandbox is basically a metaphysical area of your website that holds all of your edits until you're ready to go live with your website and with those changes. Now, you can continue to look at different templates until you're ready, but when you have chosen a specific template, you want to make sure you click Load Template into Sandbox. This will allow this change to reflect. Now, after hitting that button, it'll say this action will overwrite any changes you have already saved to your sandbox. Are you sure you want to continue? Now, if we click OK, this template will now be in our sandbox, and that is what it was saying just then. Getting back over to templates, because it will jump you into the next sub-tab, what we can do is take a look at the preview. Now, the preview will allow you to see what your website will be looking like after you hit publish if you decide to go forth with this specific template. So if we did want to go forward, we can come up here and click on Publish Live. Or if we're unhappy with a specific template and we want to keep editing, we can click on Cancel. So if I click Cancel, it's going to take us directly back to our template area. Now, some other areas of the template page are going to show 7 previously published versions. If you've played around in Site Builder before and have published other versions, they will be listed here. But remember, it's only going to show 7 previous versions. So my earliest version here is version 13, so I cannot go back and look at the previous 12 versions. So if I did want to go back to one of these previous 7 versions, I could click on version 17 and click Load to Sandbox, and then come up here and click on Publish. That would revert my website back to the previously published version, number 17. Now, what I can also do from this area is I can always click on View Live Website. And that button is up here too, where it says View Live Website up here near the navigation buttons. This allows you to click on this button and it just opens up your website in the next window. That way you can always keep an eye on what your website looks like in case you accidentally make some changes and you want to revert those changes back to your previous site. You can always go back and click on one of your previous versions and revert your website back to its previous condition. We also have a built-in service that you can contact and pay for a fee of $35 a month to actually create a custom homepage for you. It's called Premier Service, and this button right here that says Learn More about Premier Service will allow you to engage in that company, contact an account manager, and begin creating your customized homepage. Now, they also focus on SEO, but one thing that they will not provide is internal content, internal pages. That is something we're going to be talking about on another video. But what they will do is provide a completely custom homepage using HTML or source code. Again, that fee is $35 a month, and you can provide them with the information about your market area and about you, and they will put that information together and they will build out your homepage. Now, that is not something you must do. That is just an option. If you want to go that route, you can reach out to them and they will be more than happy to help you build out your homepage. Now, let's jump over here to Layout. Layout is a very important tab because this allows you to choose which layout you would like your web page to be. So if we look at my live website, this is actually in the quick search format. Quick search because everything is layered. Okay, so if we come back over here, they have put me at the 2 column. That means that there are 2 columns of information. And whenever I run my mouse over these categories, it highlights the area in my wireframe. Your wireframe is the area of your website that harnesses content. It's going to highlight on my wireframe where this information will be placed. So to go through these layouts, an interior page, this is a very advanced tool. This is if you build an interior page through content and you want to reflect that internal page as your home page. Again, we haven't gotten to the internal content area just yet. That's going to be on another video, so this may be an advanced tool for many of you users right now. No header nav will be applied to your sandbox for review. If we click on yes, and when I click on preview, obviously we're going to see that this is another advanced tool as well, because what they're going to allow us to do is build out our own content. So this is another advanced tool because you really have to know how to add in material, build widgets, have a search engine probably from another vendor. This is a very advanced tool because you're basically creating your website from scratch. Many people who utilize this tool have a great and vast knowledge of building out a website. Or they can hire somebody to come in and utilize this tool to put in links, to put in videos, to put in search engines, and to also put in widgets. Widgets are portals that help connect to another outside website. So again, you probably only want to use this tool if you have somebody that can help you or if you understand how to build out a website using code and other additional tools. Profile. If we take a look at profile, what this will do is expand on your profile area and allow you to write a lot of information about yourself. So this would be a good tool if you really want to focus on you as an agent. Text. Now your text area is also an advanced tool because again, just like the no header navigation, this will allow you to build out your own content. So you still need a pretty vast knowledge and understanding of how to build a website. However, you still have the navigation buttons here and you still have your header. So that other advanced tool that we saw had no header or no navigation button, and yet you did have the text tab right here to expand or build out on your website. Quick search is the most commonly used. The layout is very friendly and it reads in a Z formation. Studies have shown that most websites are set up in this way because users' eyes move in that direction whenever they view websites. So again, if we click on preview, obviously it's just like this website right here. This is in the quick search format or layout. And again, this is the most commonly used, but that doesn't mean you have to use it. It just seems to be a little bit more user-friendly. Now, building out your website is very easy. If we click on settings for quick search with photo, what we're able to do is make some changes. We can add a lot of images that will be placed within our search engine. Where it says dream with your eyes open, that is the search engine, and that is where all these photos that you click on will be placed. So if I unselect that one, I can choose this image, this image, this image, this one, this one, this one, and this one. And what you can also do is come down here and upload your own photos from your computer. If you click on Add New Photo, I can click on Choose File or Browse, depending on your operating system in your browser. That will allow me to access my computer and pull up an image or a logo. One thing that you want to make sure is we keep seeing this number right here, 790 by 225. Those are the dimensions that this photo or logo or image must be. 790 pixel width by 225 pixel height. Okay, those are the dimensions that the image needs to be so it will be displayed clearly. As it suggests right here, if the photo is not exact, it will be forced to fit and could be distorted. The reason it's going to be forced to fit is because this is a finite amount of space that you're working with. So if the photo is not in the exact dimensions, it can appear to be stretched, distorted, or even pixelated. So that's why LeadStreet is trying to tell you the exact dimensions. That way you understand exactly how large the photo needs to be in order to reflect normally. You can click on Submit Selections and it will be saved to your sandbox. And now we can move to quick search overlays. I want to get rid of the balloon. So how do I do that? I click on No Overlay, especially if I have a lot of custom or original photos. I want to make sure that everyone can see those photos completely. I don't want an overlay. And now I can click on Submit Selections again. Display options. We want to say yes to beds and baths because that gives users additional criteria to search. Again, we want to make sure we're providing all the necessary tools for users to search as they need. Submit selections once again, click OK, and now all of those changes have been saved to my sandbox, and I can close out of this settings area. Again, you can also click on Quick Search with Map. That's if you actually want to map search, or you can create a text area, or you can even hide this information if you didn't want to reflect a search engine or a text area at all. Now down here, if I click on this Edit button, I get a menu. Create my own content, choose from my existing content, or choose from company content. Now each one of these are a little different. So if I click on choose from company content, this is preset information. I cannot change this information. This was written by Reliance. It cannot be edited in this area. But what we can do is we can copy this information very gingerly. Only copy the text, because if you get a little overzealous, you actually end up copying the properties of this area. And that's something you won't want to do, because then you won't be able to manipulate this text if we put it into an editor, which I will be showing you here in a few minutes. Right click, of course, copy, and now I can cancel. Unless I want to load this information to the previewer, then I can click it into the previewer and it will actually show on my website. But this is preset information. Anybody can show this. But what I can do is copy this information and place it into the editor and manipulate this paragraph to be more befitting of my language. So if I click on cancel, I can go back into edit and I can click on create, edit my own content. And now what I can do, now that I have this empty canvas of an editor, if we look at this, it looks like a Microsoft Word document, except it's less intimidating because it has even less tools. But a lot of the tools that you see here can be found on a Microsoft Word document, so it's very non-threatening. I just want to make sure everybody understands how easy this truly is to use once you know where to go and how to put information into your editor. If I just click on Control-V and paste this information in here, now what I can do is I can come in and make some edits. So if I want to delete some of this information, I can come in here and make this paragraph a little bit more of my own. That allows me to change this information. That way it's not so canned. I can add a video. I can add in photos. So if I come up here to where it says Open Photographics Library, I can upload an image directly from my computer by clicking on Add Image, choose File. What I can do now is choose from one of the logos that I would like to use, upload, accept the terms, and there's my image. So when I click on my image, it takes me to this previewer where I can then drag and drop this logo directly into my editor. And if I'm happy with this information, I can click on Submit. If I'm unhappy with this information, I can click on Clear Page and start all over again. Now, one thing that you'll definitely need to do is title this page, whatever you want to title it. I just typed in content. So whenever you add content, whether it be text, whether it be video, whether it be links, whether it be other additional photos that you want to showcase of your market area or your listings, you will need to title this page. That way it can be saved into your library. Now, if we ever wanted to add a video, if I come to my live website and I want to add this video that I found, I click on this share feature, more, and this is going to open up this, and now it's going to open this video. Now, if I want to find certain properties, I can click on share, I can click on share, embed, because we want to find this source code. If I right click and copy this code, I can come back over into my website, click on Edit HTML Source, paste this code, and click on Update, and there is my video. So it's very easy to add video to your home page. All you have to do is be able to find the source code of that video on YouTube, or if it's a specific video that somebody created for you, you can ask the director or the creator of that video for the HTML code, and come in here to your page, click on Edit HTML, plop in that code, and then LeadStreet can decipher that information to produce the video that you want to showcase directly onto your website. Now all we have to do is click on Submit, and then we have our page. Another thing that I would like to show you, if I bring in a different logo, what I'm able to do is click on this little chain link right here. If I click on this chain link, insert edit link, I'm able to establish a URL, remax.com, the remaxcollection.com. I can put in another website and embed that link or that URL into this logo or even text. All you have to do is highlight text and then click the same link button, and put in the domain and put in the URL or domain that I would like to showcase. Now the important part is under target. If I click on this drop down menu, we want to make sure that this opens in a new window. You have to understand not everybody out there is internet savvy. And instead of hitting the back button to get back to your website, they might just X out of the window altogether, inadvertently Xing out of your entire website. So having a page open in a new window can be helpful. That way somebody can just click out of that window and they will come directly back to your page. Once we have all the information, we can click on Submit and we will have that newly created page showing on our web page. What we can also do is come up here to Elements and we can build out our background with either a background image from any one of these images provided. Again, at this time you cannot upload your own image unless you go with the Premier service that we discussed at the beginning of the video. But what you can do to be a little bit more original is you can choose a color and a pattern, such as I've done on my website. I've chosen a gray background and black accent color. You can choose from any color on the spectrum here, and you can also do is choose from these templates or patterns. I have gone here with the blank pattern because I just wanted to show a gray background that runs a little bit more along the lines of my company. Accent color. Now again, I already addressed this, but this black area up here at the top, this area of my navigation buttons is black. That is the accent color. And again, you're able to manipulate that from this color scheme here, and you're able to show that information. No header. If I wanted to get rid of this header, which is a custom header, all I would have to do is click on No Header, and this would not show any header information. That way you see more of the background, whether it's a color and pattern or if it's an image that you chose from your library. Header library. Now this is a lot like the background image, except that it's going to go up in your header right here where this bluff and the ocean is. That is where this header would go. However, these are all stock images that everybody in Remax can utilize if they're on the Reliance version of LeadStreet. So you're not really setting yourself apart. But if you just want a very simple website, then I strongly suggest choosing one of the headers from this library. Custom headers. If you want a custom header, you're able to create one. Now, one thing that you want to keep in mind is these dimensions right here. It can be anywhere from 844 pixels in width to 1144 pixels in width, and can be up to 432 pixels in height. So one of my custom headers is 1144 width by 345 height, and this is what it looks like in those dimensions. Or I can also choose this other header right here that's 844 in width and 432 in height. So if I click on this little button here, this is what the image would look like as a header on my website. So you can get an idea of how all this information is going to look by clicking on preview and choosing any additional preview option that they provide. Info display. This is where you can choose a little bit more layout information. So if I want to display my photo, I would say yes. The company logo, I can say no. Office name, I can say no. Contact information, yes. Display quick search header, definitely. The display quick search header, if we go to an internal page, such as Manhattan Beach, the quick search header display is very important because it provides a more conducive search engine on every single one of your internal pages, as we see right here. This way, the user does not have to continue to go back and forth to the home page to use the search engine. This is a very conducive search engine that they can use on any one of your internal pages. This should definitely be turned on, and that's done right here. Display quick search header. Make sure that says yes. You also want to make sure that your language translation tool says yes, especially if you're in a metro area. Now, if I come back to my website, this is where that language translation tool is going to be showing, up here in the upper right-hand corner, perhaps maybe in the upper left-hand corner. If I click on Translate, there's a multitude of different languages. Now, obviously, these translations are not 100%. So what this feature will allow is a user who may be able to understand this information in a specific language, they can select that language. It's a completely user interfacing tool. It will have to be manipulated by a user so they can select the specific language in which they would like to translate your website. Back in LeadStreet, below the language translation tool is your social media networks. Now you want to make sure that you're using this, because if we go to my website, I have my Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Google+, and YouTube. The information they ask for is very basic. If we look at this information right here, it really tells us what they're looking for. The username only for Facebook, your Twitter ID only for Twitter. Now everything else, you need the full URL, including the https://www. and the rest of that information. So make sure that you're following these examples thoroughly. They're in there for your benefit and to help you. If you have any problems entering this information, all you have to do is reach out to eCare. They would be more than happy to help you understand this information, and they will give you advice. They might even send you a one-sheeter to help you understand this a little bit more thoroughly. So once all this information has been entered, click on Update Social Media Values and come over here to Publish, and that information will reflect immediately onto your website. Domain is very important. In fact, if you don't plan on buying yourself your own domain name, I wouldn't even use Site Builder. You are given 2 generic domain names. These are just for hosting purposes. You don't own them. They don't belong to you. These 2 subdomains exist solely so your website can be found on the internet until you establish your own domain name. So you can go to GoDaddy, go to Network Solutions, web.com, oneandone.com, wherever to buy that domain name. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come down here to step 1, and we're going to add in that domain name first and foremost, and then we hit submit. So that way that domain name shows up here in the primary domain name area, because that's what we're going to end up doing. We're going to set this domain as the primary. Second step, we have to set these name servers into the vendor. So if I buy my domain from GoDaddy, I would have to log into my GoDaddy account, copy and paste these name servers into my account settings so that I can redirect the domain name to my agent website. And once we've done that, we can come up here and set our domain as the primary. And then whenever somebody clicks on that domain name, the website will pop up. That is how the domain and redirect works. So if we look at our browser, it shows the domain that I purchased from GoDaddy, not one of these domains. But even if I click on this domain name, it still takes me to where I want to go because it's a subdomain. They still work, but this domain does not belong to me. So I don't want to showcase this domain. If I ever decide to leave Remax, then I can't take this website or this domain with me. But what I will be able to do is take this domain with me because I own it, and I can plug it into another website at another time, and it will have all the traffic and search engine information already embedded into that URL. If you have any trouble with the domain area, please contact eCare, as they are specialized in helping agents understand this information and understanding how to correctly redirect your domain to this website and set up any additional information for your email.